Hello class, welcome back to your next music class here with me. I'm so glad to be here with you today. I hope you had a wonderful Easter with your families. I hope you found unique and creative ways to make it extra special and meaningful. I would like to introduce you to our special guest today. This is Mr. Isaac.
Hi.
Hi, thank you for being with us here today.
I'm happy to be here, it's fun.
That's great. Mr. Isaac just happens to be my husband. Some of you might recognize him from videos I've shown in the past of us singing and playing together, but I thought it would be so much fun today to take some time to get to know his main instrument, which is the
Saxophone.
Yes! Isaac is an amazing saxophone player. He has so much to share. He's also a music teacher as well. So I thought it would be really cool to do a special saxophone class today. So Mr. Isaac, can you tell us a little bit about this saxophone?
This saxophone is what they could call an alto saxophone, specifically an E-flat alto saxophone. And all that means is that it's pitched a little bit higher above the other saxophones. So if I were to play a C on this saxophone, it'd be an E-flat on the piano, and that's how it got its name, as an E-flat alto saxophone.
Oh wow, it was fun to hear you play it. Now, is this the only saxophone you play, or is there something else that you can do?
No, I play all the saxophones. So one thing that's really unique and cool about the saxophone family is that they all use the same fingering system, and the way that they work is they all function the same way. So you blow in through the mouthpiece, and then the air goes down through the neck, and then down the tube and out of the bell. And we know that music and sound all comes from different vibrations.
Right.
And you might remember from the accordion video that the vibration was inside the accordion. There are metal reeds that vibrate. This uses a wooden reed. So if you look at the front of the saxophone, there's a piece of wood there. And that vibrates and makes the sound.
Kind of like our vocal cords when we sing.
Exactly, exactly.
Wow.
So I'm pushing air past the reed's vibrating, and that's what's making the sound.
Wow, really neat. Now, do you have any other saxophones with you here that you could show us?
I do. I have my tenor saxophone ready to go, and that's a bigger saxophone, and so bigger instruments tend to make lower sound or lower pitched notes.
Neat.
This is a tenor saxophone. I brought my tenor saxophone. So because this is a bigger saxophone, it has a lower pitch and it sounds lower notes.
Oh, can we hear what that sounds like?
Of course.
Students, that does sound different, doesn't it? Incredible. Well, I have to ask, between the tenor saxophone and the alto saxophone, do you have a favorite?
Well, I try not to play favorites, but I do play the tenor saxophone more frequently.
Okay, and when you're playing your tenor saxophone, is there a certain type of music you play?
Yeah, most often I get called to perform jazz music on the saxophone, but I also do a lot of popular styles like funk and rock and roll, R&B, that kind of stuff.
Well, it's really interesting that you say that you play a lot of jazz because, especially for my third graders, we've been learning a lot about the jazz style in class. And so when we've listened to jazz music, we've heard instrumentalists play all sorts of notes up and down, and I'm wondering, when you play jazz, how you're able to change the notes and play all of those amazing notes.
Yeah, so we talked just a second ago about how you actually make just a good sound on the saxophone is by using the reed to vibrate, and then it goes down the neck and it goes through the tube and out the bell. Now, if you can see closely, there's all these keys on the saxophone, right? So my fingers go on the pearl parts of these keys, and every time I push down a different key with my finger, it closes the hole. So if I were to play the saxophone without pushing down any keys, it would kind of be like the middle sound of the saxophone. And then as I push down the keys, what I'm doing is I'm actually lengthening the saxophone. I'm lengthening where the air can come out. And the longer that goes, the more keys I press down, the more time it takes to come out. And that time and that length equals a lower note.
Can you play a really low note for us?
Yeah, I'll push down all the keys.
Okay. That's a low note. That's lower than any of us could sing.
And so as I lift off the keys, as I lift off my fingers, the notes get higher.
Oh. Wow. I can see how that would create so much flexibility with the notes you can play, which I think is important in playing jazz. Am I right?
Yeah, when you're playing jazz music, you can think about ahead of time what notes you want to play, but when you're in the moment and you're improvising, you just have to go for it and play what notes you hear in your head. So when you're reaching for those notes, it's good to be able to memorize what keys to press down. So if I want to play a certain note that sounds a certain way, I have to know which fingers to use and how much air support. So it's really complicated, but when you do it over and over and over, that complicated feeling gets really simplified.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Well, I think that we should do another teaching video together soon, where we get to do some jazz music together so you can show some of these things you're talking about. How fun would it be to have Mr. Isaac come back and play some jazz for us? So, students, I want you to come back next time and listen to Mr. Isaac play. I'll sing some jazz too, and maybe you can even sing some jazz by the end of the video. So make sure you come back for our next video. Before I say goodbye, I just want to say another big thank you to Mr. Isaac for helping us out today. It's so fun to get to learn about something new in music, and we'll see you in a couple days.
Yeah, I look forward to being back.
All right. Bye, students.
Bye.
See you next time.
Bo do do ba 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 do ba ba do